important. Let me see here. See, because I don't see anything moving. Huh. I was wrong. All right, let's get into it, shall we? So let's see here. I don't need that. A little glitchy today. Apologize. Let's take a look at this. Let's blow this up. So today, actually a pretty good day. It's the 25th of January, and we had a little bit of a rebound. And before everybody celebrates, like, the bull run's back on. This is awesome. That's not how it works. It's going to be rocky for a while, so we have to just pick our spots. But hey, take the small wins for what they are, right? So Bitcoin had a pretty good bounce. Some may call it a dead cat bounce. You're going to hear that all day today. You're going to hear people call for Bitcoin going to 20K. You're going to hear people calling for Bitcoin going to 50K. And I can't tell you what it is because I don't have a crystal ball and nobody else does either. And for everybody who says, well, I called this time and I called it at that time, yeah, they probably did call a couple of times, but are they consistently right 100% of the time? No. And if you know somebody who's 100% of the time, introduce me because I'd love to have them on the show. But so far, I haven't found anybody who has perfection. So Bitcoin, in the last 24 hours, up 8.5%. That's pretty good. And over the last couple of days, I've been worried that it might actually go down a little bit farther. So I didn't buy this dip until this morning. I think I hit it around when Bitcoin was rising up around 3 or 4 or 5% increase. And I was like, okay, this is a pretty good time to buy just a little bit and go from there. I am not good at timing the bottoms, and I'm not good at selling at the absolute tops. And that's how I made all my money, because that's just makes sense to me. So Bitcoin is up 8.5%. Ethereum up 9.6%. But again, over 7 days, down almost 25%. Cardano, pretty good, 3.8%. XRP, 5.7%. Solana, 8.5%. But again, look at these numbers are pretty brutal sell-offs. 34% for Solana, 30% for Polkadot, 26% for Avalanche. But again, focus on the good stuff. 15, 9.2, 12.5, 8, 13%, 23% for Phantom. So pretty good day all in all. The real question, though, is where are we going? Where are we going and what is happening? And to take a look at that, I know some people don't like to say this, but I still believe it to be true. Crypto and traditional market are pretty much correlated. So what I want to see is it is roughly 10:50 here in Puerto Rico. We're on Atlantic Standard Time. So that means that it's 9:50 Eastern Time. So let's see if we can get an update. Yeah, that's it right there. Oh, it updates automatically. Pretty cool. Didn't know it did that. I thought I had to refresh. Now that can't be right. Let me update this. Aha, knew it. So S&P 500, let's take a look over 5 days. So today we are at Tuesday, and it's already opened up a little bit below NASDAQ. But remember, we had a pretty good uptick. So once market goes up a little bit, so does crypto. Let's see if NASDAQ follows that same thing. So NASDAQ down again today. Take a look over 5 days. Had a nice little bump at the end of yesterday, and then we open up slightly smaller or slightly less revenue. So that's what we have for the traditional market. So what I want to talk to you about, you guys, is the 4-year plan. The 4-year plan and how I did things. I know, like, if you're just getting in or you've been in since 2021, hey, congratulations. You picked, depending on what month, could have been awful, could have been great. And I'm just here to tell you that it doesn't really matter in the long run. And I'm just going to go over just real quick some things that I've done to help me out. And these are the things that sometimes even I forget because I've been in the market for quite some time. So in 2017, when I got in, let me blow this out. Burp. Let me just have you see what I saw. This is what I saw in 2017. I got in somewhere around here, somewhere around there. Let me blow this up so you can see it. And most of you know my story, so it's not anything revelations. So I got in around here, and it went up, and I thought I was a genius, and I dumped a ton of money. I didn't dollar cost average, so I didn't know what dollar cost average was. And before you know it, I was up here. I was buying around right here because everybody told me it was going to go up to the moon. Here's the thing. I didn't just buy Bitcoin. I also bought Ethereum. I also bought Funfair. I also bought XRP. I also bought Chainlink. I also bought Energy Token. I also bought Dragon Chain. And I can tell you probably 30 more different cryptos that some were great and some were just awful. And I will tell you that because of what happened next, which was this little action right here, where everything dropped down to the floor. Bitcoin actually did pretty good. This is just Bitcoin itself. Bitcoin actually, it lost a good amount of its value, but I didn't really put too much. I put enough into Bitcoin, but most of it went alts because that's what was going off so great. And I will tell you that I lost about 85 to 90% of the value of my portfolio right there. So if you're here from 2021, I feel you. Because if you hit those points and you went all the way down, same thing happened to me. So here's the thing. You have a decision, and we talked about this before. And the decision for me was this, which was I can get out now and I can just save face and go, well, I lost. Because it's pretty tough when you go from you're up 6 figures, and then all of a sudden now you're down to roughly 4 figures. Sound familiar? And if you think to yourself, well, yeah, that's what it is. Then you have to tell your significant other, whoever that is. I can tell my wife, hey, it didn't work out, and we're down right now. So you have a choice. 2021, 2017, it doesn't matter. 2013, it doesn't matter. It's all the same thing. There's so much volatility going up and down, up and down. So when you think to yourself, man, this only happened to me, you're incorrect. This has happened to a lot of us that are into the crypto space. There's a lot of people that have been here for quite some time, so it's hard for them to remember. But I try to remember through these videos what it was like back then. There's a reason why I am like this, not freaking out and screaming in my microphone, because I've already been there and I've already gone through these things. And I know that time seems to heal all wounds, and it actually does some pretty big wonders for your portfolio as well. So this is not, I can never tell you what to do. This is not investment advice. This is just investment opinion, but that's what happened. And what I want to take a look is the ones that have proven themselves. So I want you just to notice this. So Bitcoin, let's max out. Bitcoin's been around since the beginning. This one only goes back to 2013, but it's all the way to 2009. And you can see that, okay, well, it hit here, then it went sideways, and it went up and down, and it'll correct itself again, like it's doing right now, but it'll probably go up because it has time on its side. So it's not as risky as, say, getting into a crypto market cap that's ranked 1,240. You can make a lot of money, but you can lose it pretty fast. Also, Ethereum. Let's take a look at Ethereum. Let's just max this out and see where we're at. Kind of the same thing, right? Kind of the same thing. And over here, oh man, $1.25 in 2015. And then you come over here, went up to $1,100. Then it just rode out, and then back we are. So, okay, well, let's take a look at some other stuff. Those are pretty good. Will they continue? I can't tell you they're going to continue like that. I can just tell you that the history shows a pretty good correlation. Now, let's go down. Oh, let's take a look at Cardano. Let's see how Cardano had done over max amounts. So actually, this was a tough one for me to hold, but I did because I bought around 20 cents, 54 cents, and then it crashed. I've been dollar cost averaging for all this time. And look at where we are now. So there is that part, but let's go down because those guys, they've been around for quite some time. XRP, I will tell you right now, XRP will do great if it wasn't for the SEC. I'll get into that in a second. So XRP, oh my God, since 2013 has been around, and it's gone up over here, and down. Can it do again? Sure, it can do it again. It just depends on what's the outcome of the SEC, and that's a wild card. But let's take a look at some of these that don't have a lot of history, even though how great they are, and we take a look at like TPS and things like that. Solana is, it could be great, but it doesn't have a lot of history. I mean, it's got a history back here. I mean, remember, this is only 2020, April. And it kind of did this and kind of came down. So does it have the history to say that it can meet all the challenges? Depending on who you ask. But for me, I think as time moves forward, I'm going to try to, I like layer one solutions, but I won't be putting a ton of money into just any one that I can see. Also, let's take a look at Polkadot. Polkadot, what's the max time frame here? And of course, it'll go before this because of different reporting requirements. But again, it's only been since August 2020. And this is how early we are. Now I want to take you back just a little bit more, and we can go down the line. Also, look at Chainlink. Chainlink, I think, is a great one because it's been around, my God, it's been since 2017. Been around for quite some time. But I think every chain needs it. Every chain, well, if you want to do any kind of like data that you have to pull, like real world data off from like real world sources into the blockchain, you need Chainlink. I just don't understand. It's just one of those things that just goes down and doesn't really, it kind of like moves in the bear market. So what I want to talk to you real quick now about is this. So the 4-year plan, I'll just put it in a nutshell. Just like how I did in 2017. Again, I can't tell you what to do. But if you got in 2021, I understand that you wanted to get rich overnight. I get it. Everybody wants to do that. It just makes sense, right? But there's still are those principles. And one of those principles, it was a pretty great video. It was by Simon Dixon, and he was from Unbank. Unbank yourself. And he talks about the ABCs, which is accumulate, build, and cleanse. So what I want to talk to you about is accumulate. But the big thing is, well, accumulate what? Because all those examples, it sounds good, but I want to give you one more little lesson, which is called a dash of salt. And when I talk about a dash of salt, what I want to show you, and not to pick on any one chain or whatnot, but for Dash, if we take a look at Dash over the last 4 years or so, actually, let me back up. Over 7 days, not too good, right? 24 hours, now we're talking, all right. 14 days, 30 days, 90 days, 180 days, which is like a lot, but let me max out here. If you pick a project, and I haven't really done a deep dive into Dash, but I can just tell you that when sometimes good projects just don't work out. I don't know the fundamentals here, but I can just tell you, like, if you were buying here and you still wrote it out for 4 years and you were dollar cost averaging, you might make up a little bit, but not too much. And then you're just over here and you're still low. You're like in the same spot you were. I mean, $97. This is $180 4 years ago. So you might make yourself up around here if you keep dollar cost averaging and selling at the right times, but sometimes it just doesn't work out. Again, if you own Dash, it's probably great. I have no idea really about it, but you got to be careful about the one that you pick. And sometimes it's better to pick a safer bet. Now let's take a look at Salt. Salt was another one that I actually invested into. And Salt is ranked 1,200 and something, blah, blah, blah. But it was in the top 50 during the 2017, at least in the top 100, I can tell you that. So taking again a look at the 7-day, looks okay. All right, not too bad. 14-day, 30-day, 180-day. But I want you to look at this. Here's the max. Here's the max. So if you think that you can dollar cost average and it'll make itself okay, it doesn't always work out like that. That's why it's so critical that you pick projects that have a pretty proven history and are good. I will show you though, like, look at this. Oh, this is brutal. $13, $15, and it's been 8 cents forever. Now, maybe salt will come back. I have no idea. But I will tell you one thing. Salt still running, still waiting for a credit card, and still has crypto-backed loans. If you want to go down that route, that's fine. But the reason why they're having a hard time is the SEC charged them on September 30th, 2020. They settled against Salt Blockchain for conducting an unregistered ICO of digital tokens. Again, another security issue. So the question then is, why does Salt fall down so heavy as opposed to XRP, which is still in the top 10? And the answer is community. Community will keep a lot of things afloat. Unfortunately, Salt didn't have that, and that's where we go. So if we're talking about things that just don't work out sometimes, remember that term, a dash of salt. So, not to rain on anybody's parade, but that's why I bring up some of these blue chippers. That's why I talk about Bitcoin and Ethereum. That's why I talk about Chainlink and some of these layer one solutions. So it's up to you to decide which ones those are, and I can just tell you which ones that I get into. Like today, when I bought the dip, you know what I bought? Bitcoin. And also, I also bought Algorand. I think that's going to be a pretty great play. I had to buy a little bit of Ethereum. I just had to. And then a little bit of Luna and Chainlink. So I bought a little bit on the dip. Depends where that will go. But I think in the long run, it'll work out okay. So that's just what I want to bring to your attention. So that was, we were talking about Simon Dixon's video, the ABCs: accumulate, build, and then cleanse. So let's get into the build part. And I want to talk to you about, again, planting seeds. And we're going to just take a look at some things as far as planting seeds about what could be bigger in the future. And again, it gets more risky as you get outside these blue chips. But I think if you plant some seeds into some small ones, they can do pretty well. So planting seeds, this is the one that I think could do pretty well. This is a World Mobile Token. And again, I always look at projects for the UTT. What's the utility? What does it do? Well, they have actually a working product right now for telecommunications all the way through Africa. They have 5 different setups in Tanzania, Nigeria, I believe. And they've already have maxed out all their nodes. It's supposed to be 1,000 nodes, and they hit that in like a couple weeks. So if you want to plant seeds, I did this deep dive video 8 months ago where I liked the project. I took a look at it, and I thought this could be pretty good. And I had on Mickey Watkins, and he came on 8 months ago, and I've been talking about him ever since. Will this be one that could, be a blue chipper? I don't know. But I can just tell you that for me, the plan, the 4-year plan, again, getting back to that, is whatever I buy, I'm thinking about this 4-year elongated project that I want to do. I want to get into crypto. I want to dollar cost average in. Then when it goes up and there's like a mania going on and people think it'll never drop, that's when I'll probably dollar cost average out. I will take some profits. I don't care if people talk to me about, Rob, you got to have diamond hands. That doesn't matter. What do you want to be? Do you want to be the richest corpse in the cemetery who has the most Bitcoin and you're dead? Or do you want to actually use it for things that you can actually, enjoy your life? So dollar cost average in, dollar cost average out. For the majority, also have some things where I can plant some seeds. And if you want to learn more about why I think World Mobile Token is going to do pretty well, I'll link the video at the end. Also, they're going to have an AMA tonight. You can ask them any question you want to. It's going to be over on their YouTube channel, which is that one right there. So that is the planting seeds part. 4-year plan, planting seeds. And now I just want to give you a quick refresher about what's going on as far as the new stuff. So the new stuff, this is from Blockworks, and they came out and said that Charles Schwab is now considering launching a crypto spot ETF. I can't 100% verify that. They said it's considering launching crypto, but I wanted to take you down memory lane real quick and show you exactly what's going on so you can be a little bit more, put things in context about where we're at. This was a great thread by Dread Bongo. And he pretty much lays out a ton of different aspects about why everything's going so well in this space. Let me refresh this because it's for some reason frozen. So he talks about price adoption and things like that. First thing he talks about is he's talking about December. then he says, look, Japan's Minister of Economic Security says implementing a CBDC is a matter of national security. Let me blow it up over here. This is better. And I want you to remember this. This just not too long ago, the CEO of Twitter and Square changed their name to Block. And why? Because this multi-billion, I don't think it's $1 trillion company, multi-billion-dollar company is going heavy into blockchain. We know that Jack's a big supporter of Bitcoin. Also, don't forget that Facebook, one of the 5 of the FANG stocks, rebranded their entire brand from Facebook into Meta for the metaverse and blockchain because they think they know where things are going. The Korean stock exchange, this is crazy, calls for more legislation. And the reason is because since virtual assets become major investment assets, it's time to prepare an institutional framework. Toronto Stock Exchange listed the Fidelity Advantage Bitcoin ETF and mutual funds. Adidas enters the NFT space with Bored Ape Yacht Clubs and everything else. And then also, I want to show you this. VCs and hedge funds and how much they're actually betting. Look at this chart right here. These are all the different companies and the different institutions and hedge funds that are getting into it. Paradigm, 2.5 billion. Pantera, 600 million. Crypto, 20 years, 700 million deal to rename Staples. Jesus, Staples Center. Consensus, 200 million. What else? Pokemon Go raises 300 million for a $9 billion valuation to build the metaverse. Paradigm co-founder joins board of Stripe. What else we have? Starkware raises 50 million for $2 billion valuation. I don't know which that one. That's a little bit confusing. And then, oh yeah, major video games, getting into the NFTs part, which we had the first one being Ubisoft. There was a backlash, but I think it's going to be big. And then this was actually said by the Australian Federal Treasurer. The goal is to make Australia the world leader in crypto. Oh yeah, Visa launches crypto consultation services to help banks. NYDIG came out and said, hey, we were going to give 300 different banks, as far as like the small to medium-sized banks, to give crypto or to allow crypto be traded by their customers. Elon Musk does his thing. This is nothing. HSBC. Disney announced plans for a metaverse after their patents were approved. Adidas also the same thing. What's the good stuff? Oh yeah, this was interesting. In December, Sotheby's reported over 100 million in NFT sales. So again, if you don't, we talk about NFTs and metaverse, you can get into those specific plays, or you just get into layer 1 solutions. The Ethereums, the Avalanche, the Solanas, the Cardanos, the things like that, because things are going to be built on those. Luna, stuff like that, right? Well, not Luna. Luna's more of a different play. Let's see. Oh yeah, some of the biggest hedge funds. Movorkel. Ray Dalio came out and said, hey, I think it's going to be a big thing. Paul Tudor Jones starts to invest into it. Stanley Druckenmiller. And also remember Bill Miller, one of the Wall Street legends. He gets into it. And then it goes on forever about what's actually going on here. So that was just like a little reminder, a little refresher of what is going on. And that, hopefully, will put somebody's fears at ease about where we're at. Because you have to understand, you're going to hear a lot of negative stories. As the market goes up, everything's great. And you hear nothing in the news, MSNBC and CNBC, about how crypto is doing so fantastic. Now, as it drops, like it always drops, you're going to hear negative stories and you start to doubt. Like, is this the right play? Should I be here? Should I do this? And I'm here to tell you, I had the same thing, the same problems. I just took it over 4 years, just go, well, I think, because I was around when the internet came about. When the internet came about, people didn't believe it was going to last either. We didn't. We thought it was going to be just a simple place for hucksters and scammers to hide and steal all our debit cards, because we never would actually use our debit or credit cards online, because that's where you went to get all your money taken. Doesn't that sound like crypto today? And that's what we have. So hopefully that helps out. And then lastly, we'll finish up. I just want to tell you that there is going to be a meetup for here in Puerto Rico. It's over at the Smokehouse, Caribbean Smokehouse. And I'll retweet this now. It's tomorrow from 4 p.m. to 6 p.m. And there's going to be a nice blues band playing, so you can cry about your portfolios. Let me retweet this just to make sure everybody sees it again. So follow me at News Asset on for Twitter, and you can check that out. Also, if you are new and looking for a place to actually buy crypto, get into crypto, there's a link in the description. It looks just like this. And what it is it's my exchange and wallet feeds. And you can check that out. This is all the things that I have recommended and actually use. Well, most of them. So Voyager and Celsius I use totally. KuCoin rarely. Kraken rarely. SwiftX I don't use them. They're in Australia, but I like how they give you your own personalized rep to actually walk through the whole process. And there's a new one that I added called Stablehouse. Stablehouse, it's another brokerage. It looks to be pretty good. It looks to be up and whatnot, but the problem is it's not available in US or Canada at the moment. So use it at your leisure. I will say this, it looks interesting because down here, two things. First of all, it's based in Bermuda, regulated by the Bermuda Monetary Authority. All right. But it does have pretty good rates. Binance Coin, 12%, Gemini Dollar, 12%, and USD, 12, and Paxos, 12 and 12. Pretty good protection. They sign up with Fireblocks. These are hardware isolated MPC wallets. They keep your data secure. Company on fee though. They have pretty good robust security because they make it standard for 2FA and email verification. So you can check those out. But just so you know, not available in US and Canada and Afghanistan, Albania, and all those crunchers. So check it out. I have looked into it. I can't even use it because I'm not outside. But from what I understand, people seem to like it. It's very, as they say, stable, and that is it. So look, that's all we have today. Let's get out of here and finish up with a little Q&A. I went a little bit longer than I wanted to. Sorry, but that's what we have. All right, let's banners hide. Look at all these bashing of the other YouTubers. Look, man, the other YouTubers, I'll just say this. Every other YouTuber that's out there, they have their place for what they do. Some are hype. Some are there to get you in. And that's okay. It's like when you're walking down Bourbon Street, right? And there's always somebody out there at the hype man like, hey, come on here, check this place out, get in here, blah, blah, blah. It's the greatest of all time. And you get in there and like, this isn't that great. But it's not a bad place. So like some YouTubers, they're hype. And it's okay. But they're designed to get you into the crypto space so you can find, better places. Or not better places, places that just give you a little bit more balance and will tell you that, hey, we're in a bear market. Hint, we are. Hey, things don't always go up and things go down, and that's okay. And hey, it's going to take a long time for your plan to get into something. I know it sucks, but it is the reality. So that's how it is. All right. Thanks. Vincent Mark says it right. Do your own research. I know. I try to keep it real, but it is tough. I mean, I got to tell you. It's not actually, no, it's not that tough. It's actually pretty damn easy to keep it real. All you got to do is just say, here's what the market's doing, and here's where I think we're going, and this is based on some data or some external news and information that we find, and we take a look at on-chain data. We take a look at the UTT, utility tokenomics, and team, and just go from there. It's not rocket science. The only thing